welcome again to another Artist of the Week. This week's featured artist is Petirep. How are you doing today, Petirep?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Excellent, excellent. Well, Petirep is the main artist behind Rainbow Dash Presents, and he's been kind enough to come out here and give us a little bit of his time today. So without further ado, let's get right into the questions. My first question that I have here for you is, how long have you been into art?
Well, I've always kind of been into art. Even as a kid, I was always really good at art, and my parents kind of recognized that I was really good at art because I was the only kid in kindergarten that drew fingers on the characters and stuff, and I didn't draw stick figures, and they're like, "Whoa, he's not drawing stick figures." So that's how they knew I really liked art and I was into art. So they encouraged me in my art early on, and I took art. I didn't take any like formal art classes. I just took art in school, and I really enjoyed it. And I don't know. I've never done anything serious with my art. I've always drawn and stuff. I tried playing around with comics, but I didn't have the patience back when I was younger to sit down and make a whole comic. But a few years ago, I started purposefully developing my art style because I wanted to improve. Because before then, I'd just done kind of really flat art, kind of like Invader Zim, Danny Phantom, Fairly Odd Parents. The really flat stuff that doesn't have much depth to it. So I started looking at more of the Disney animation and stuff like that, and working on really fleshing out the characters and kind of conveying mass and depth to the characters. So that was 2 summers ago that I started doing that.
And then now you're here.
Yes, I am.
All right, excellent. Oh, go ahead.
As far as digital art goes, like everything before then was just drawing on paper, but I've only been doing digital art on my iPad for about just over a year, actually. A few weeks ago was the 1-year anniversary of my first post on DeviantArt, so that was when I started doing digital art, and it's all done on my iPad, by the way, if you don't know that.
Wow, that's very impressive. Do you prefer? Have you tried like tablets and that sort of things, or do you prefer the tablet over or the iPad over them?
I have used tablets before, and I do prefer the iPad over the tablet I have, because with iPad it's so quick. I can just draw really quick. I can zoom in with 2 fingers really quick, and it's really great interface. But with the tablet, it's slow. I have to look up at the screen, look back down on my at the tablet, and it just takes a lot longer to draw the same thing. And also, I really like not having to look up and down at my monitor. I really like holding the tablet in my hand and drawing like an actual piece of paper.
All right. Well, very interesting. So, when did ponies come about for you?
I first heard about the whole brony thing by Weird Al, actually, on Twitter. This was like the 2-month span that I was actually looking at Twitter, and before I got bored of it. Mm-hmm. And Weird Al posted a PMV of Polkarama, and he's like, "Hey, these pony videos are really funny." And I'm like, "What? What's this?" And I clicked on it, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, look at that. What is this?" and that's when I first found out about it, and I kind of got into it because the characters were interesting looking. They were colorful. They were, it was a cute looking animation, and I'm like, hey, I like animation. I've always been a fan of animation and stuff like that. And when I heard that it was the people who made Foster's and Powerpuff Girls, I was like, oh, hey, that's pretty cool. So that's when I first got into it. I didn't really start drawing ponies until, when was it? Yeah, pretty much around the time that I started doing digital art. And it was when I was on vacation in Arizona one week. I was just really bored. So I decided that I was going to just start drawing on my iPad and play around. And this was back when Greg was still doing the Mentally Advanced series, which he says he's still doing, but we're still waiting a whole year for...
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so hopefully episode 11 will come out before it's been a year, but we'll see. I guess it really depends on if Audible Bus gets back from Germany and can finish editing it for us, but we'll see about that later. Anyway, I submitted fan art to the Mentally Advanced series because I really like the series, and it was the picture of Mrs. Buzzy Isn't Real. It's like one of the first few pictures I have up on my DeviantArt account.
Mm-hmm.
He really liked it, and he featured it in the video. He actually used it during one of the scenes where Twilight's freaking out. She has this crazy flashback. The pictures of Twilight and Mrs. Buzzy. Mrs. Buzzy's just like ripped open and filled with stuffed bread, and Celestia's standing ominously over her. And that was the first official picture I did, and that's how I first got in contact with Greg, was over that image.
So how did the idea for Rainbow Dash Presents come about?
Well, it's not my idea. It was Greg's idea. So he apparently read some crazy fic. What was it? I don't remember what it was called, but it was some gory fic. Or no, it was, I don't know, I think maybe it was some clock fic. I don't care. But he was just thinking about how everything was, all the characters acted normally until the vulgar part came, and then all of a sudden, like, everybody's brains just turned off, and it just went into like stupid fan fiction mode. So it kind of inspired him. Was like, so like, what if his character of Rainbow Dash were reading this fic and she just didn't get it, and what if her brain was turned off over the whole thing and she just misinterpreted everything, and that's where he kind of got the idea of it. And he didn't want to do a clock fic. He wanted to do something a little bit safer, so he went with Bubbles, and apparently him and his friends actually attempted to do some art for that, and he said it was horrible. So, and if I recall correctly, he says his ponies look like lizards. So I actually really want to see his drawings of pony lizards, but
yeah, that would be pretty interesting.
That after that, or around that time, I sent him another piece of fan art, the Kosorv image with Rainbow Dash and the Recycle image, and a reference to one of the jokes in the Mentally Advanced series. And he really liked that, and that's when he asked me, hey, would you be interested in doing this little series I'm thinking, or this little spin-off thing that I'm thinking of? And at that time, there weren't really any major plans for the series. It was just I don't know. I don't even think he was planning on making it into a series or anything. It was just going to be like a one-time thing. But I agreed to it because I'm like, hey, this is cool. I like this series, and I want to do stuff. So when I first started with Bubbles, my main focus was basically speed. I wasn't really aiming to do the best I can, because the best I can would take too long. I knew I had to do a lot of images in a rather short period of time. It only took 2 weeks, Bubbles, actually. Only took 2 weeks.
Wow.
And I think there were 50-ish images in that. So I drew several images a day, and I just went through them real quick, and I improved over the time it took me to make that. And actually, I've been improving over the time I've been doing all of them, but actually you can see a noticeable improvement if you watch all the episodes from the first one to the most current one. It's
Absolutely.
just, yeah. And that's mainly because I've been learning the style a little bit better. I figured out how to do things faster and more efficiently, so I can include a little bit more detail and spend a little bit more time making sure the characters look perfect. Because one of the hardest things for me is I'm actually kind of more of a perfectionist, but the forcing myself to work fast, I had to just say, it's good enough. I gotta turn it in. I just gotta get this out there and move on to the next image. even though I know it's not perfect, I gotta just keep going. And thankfully, I've gotten to the point where I'm more satisfied with every image that I turn in. But still, sometimes I just have to go, okay, just you've worked on this long enough, move on to the next image. But that's just for Rainbow Dash Presents, the speed thing. But after Bubbles came out, it was pretty successful, and people were asking, like, hey, you got to do Cupcakes, because Cupcakes was, like, the most famous fic. So we decided to do Cupcakes, and this one was a little bit more ambitious. It was longer, and it was a little bit more complicated, but I was actually still able to finish Cupcakes in about 2.5 weeks, which is crazy because it's like 20 minutes, and some of the ones we're working on, the one I'm working on now, which is Rainbow Dash Presents A Beautiful Day in Equestria, is only like 9 minutes long. It's less than 9 minutes long. It's like 6 minutes long, and I've been working on it for the past month, mainly because of work, actually, because work is sucking up a lot of my time. Once I get back to school, I have a lot more free time and can draw a lot more. But Cupcakes went really fast, which surprised me and Greg, and that one was a huge success. So that's when it was clear that this was going to be an ongoing series, and we started doing more and more of them. And I guess.
Okay. So how many people are working on Rainbow Dash Presents at any given time?
Any given time? Well, the art is all me, so.
Okay.
I guess. Let's see. There's Greg. Greg writes the scripts, and he does most of the voices. Other friends who contribute voices. But at any one time, it's usually just me or Greg or someone else working on it. It's not a huge production. Sorry. But I think for Rainbow Factory we had Greg, Kelly. We had like 4 different voice actors, I think. So maybe 5. Wait. Oh, whatever. But we had quite a few for that one, and I think that was the most amount of people working on it, was that one, Rainbow Factory, or Biker Gorilla.
So, do you have any advice for people who are wanting to get a group together and organize something kind of, or not quite what you're doing, but like an animation project?
Well, for aspiring artists, I guess. I guess just for general aspiring artists, don't be afraid to put your stuff out there. Work for free. Send art to people that you look up to, and like if you like somebody's stuff, send it to them and share it. And always be your own biggest critic, basically. Seek self-improvement, and don't get angry or disheartened when somebody gives you criticism, especially if you know the criticism is right. Because you should always be seeking improvement and just making a better product, essentially. But also enjoy it too. You have to make sure that you're making good art and you're enjoying it. If those are the big things, especially enjoyment, because that's why we do art, is to have fun. Mm-hmm. But for a group who wants to get something together, I think it's good to always listen to one another. Make sure you're open to other people's input. But I think it's always good to have one centralized person who essentially makes the end call. Basically, it needs to be kind of more. I guess the leadership needs to be kind of more centralized, and that's why I just kind of let Greg take charge, because it was originally his product and his idea, so I don't try and take control of the creative process too much, but I always put input in there, and he's happy to hear it, and it lends itself to a good, strong group, I think.
All right, excellent advice. So for besides, I know Rainbow Dash Presents probably takes up a lot of your time, but what other projects have you worked on?
Well, I've been able to squeeze in a few commissions here and then. One of the biggest commissions that I'm really excited about is I'm going to be doing the album cover for the next Monster Cat album, Monster Cat 009. I'm going to be doing the album cover for that, and I actually did a commission a few weeks ago for the release of their 008 album that they put up on Facebook to kind of advertise it. So that was just, when I heard about that, I'm like, oh, that's just so cool. But in addition to Rainbow Dash, I also do a comic, Lord of the Dwarves, which Greg writes, and that's up on our website, donsomewhere.com. You can look at that, and it's a really cool comic. It's a little bit harder to do comics, I think, because you have to be more mindful in the staging of the characters and where they're all going to be set up in order to correctly tell the story and convey emotion and stuff like that. So, and then also in addition to that, in addition to the comic and Rainbow Dash Presents, I'm also currently working with Urban Meadows on a card game called Buck. And it's a really neat looking card game. Hopefully you can have a link to that somewhere in this.
Oh yeah,
to show
yeah.
people that. But I'm really excited to see how that's going to turn out. He's going to debut the cards in the UK Brony event, which is also conveniently called Buck.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
which is, I guess, Brony something UK, or yeah, Brony UK, I think. But the cards are going to be debuting there, and he's going to be selling the individual cards. But the whole card game is going to be like 90 or 100 cards, I think, and that'll be for sale sometime in the fall, I think. But I've been getting to see previews of the cards, and the cards are looking real nice. I'm excited to see how that turns out.
All right, excellent. I guess changing course. What inspires you about ponies?
I'm not sure. I just kind of like, I don't know, I've just always been a fan of animation, and whenever I see animation that obviously has a lot of passion behind it, I just kind of want to put my own passion behind it too. But I think what I really like about the show is really the Brony community, really, and the passion that other people have for the show, and it just kind of inspires me to, like, you know what, I like y'all's passion. I'm gonna contribute to that and have fun, and the show's fun to watch, and it's very enjoyable. So I think really just other people's excitement about it makes me excited too. So.
All right, and has it affected your life outside of artwork?
No. I mean, I don't know. At first, I tried to keep it secret, but after a while, I'm like, nah, no. I'm enjoying this too much to keep it a secret. So.
All right, interesting. What else do you do besides artwork?
Work, eat, sleep. But I like to read and study just various topics. So, like, I like history, I like theology, I like psychology, reading about different topics and stuff like that, like reading about politics and general things. So reading and stuff like that is something I like to do. And I'm a good writer, but I don't really enjoy doing it because it's really time consuming and just very erroneous. Lots of study and research, which is time consuming. But recently I picked up harmonica about a year ago because I wanted to learn an instrument, and that was fun. So I don't know, just things to occupy my time, I guess.
Absolutely. All right, so here's a tough question here for you.
Uh-oh.
If you had to pick a favorite project, What would it be?
Favorite project? Rainbow Dash Presents would be my favorite project. Um, but
Any episode in particular?
oh, any Rainbow Factory was really fun to work on, but it just when I was working on it, I wasn't used to how long it was taking. Before that, all the other episodes had taken about 2 to 3 weeks to make.
Mhm.
4 weeks, and it was just going on and on. And I'm like, oh my god, this project's never gonna end. But that's now become the norm. Projects are taking forever, so I'm not too worried about that anymore. But Rainbow Factory was a really fun project. But probably the episode I'm most excited about is the one that we're going to do next after I finish A Beautiful Day in Equestria. It's My Little Dashie. We're doing My Little Dashie after that.
Ooh.
And I read the script for it. I actually have lines in this one. I'm going to be doing a line.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I'm going to be a character. One of the monkeys. Because all the humans are monkeys. But it's going to be a really fun one. It's going to be back to the regular goofiness that everybody likes, and Haunting Nightmare was a little bit more serious, and a lot of people didn't like that. But yeah, we'll be going back to the goofiness. In fact, A Beautiful Day in Equestria is going to be goofy too. So
All right.
that'll be fun.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
My last question here for you. What advice would you give to new artists?
Well, in addition to what I said before, like putting yourself out there, work for free, and work your hardest, but just essentially enjoy what you do. And if you don't enjoy drawing, then don't do it. But strive to do your best and improve, and basically all the things I kind of said before for animators.
All right. Interesting. Well, that's all I have here for you today. Was there anything else you wanted to leave the listeners with before I let you go?
No, just want to thank everybody for watching Rainbow Dash Presents and being so interested in my art and art projects and following me and all that stuff. It's been really nice talking with fans and getting to know them, just kind of being there to hear people, and that's one thing. Another thing for aspiring artists is that communicate with your fans and put yourself out there. When I first started doing, when I was a little bit less well known, I put mural drawings on everybody's channel. Like whenever they watched me, I did a little drawing for them on my channel. But that got to the point where it was getting ridiculous, and I had like 50 watchers, and like every time I checked, I'm like, oh crap, I can't do 50 drawings right now. So I had to stop doing that, unfortunately. But always make your fans feel special and show that you appreciate them, essentially.
Excellent advice. Well, thank you very much for your time, Petirep.
Thank you.